then we have this big book of all the, say, the churches, the Presbyterian churches in the United States, by state. So I look in that state to see what churches are there, and then send them, you know, either call them or send them, write a letter saying we're going to be at your place at this time, and all we need is a place to sleep. Just sleep in the church is okay. And that's how we went across the United States. All these churches we'd found ahead of time, so we didn't have to spend money buying a hotel or a motel room. So we made it across the United States with our $800, and then we get to the school and they say, well, we got summer classes going on. There's no rooms for you to move into yet. There's no apartments because people are still here. So then what do we do? God, you wanted us to come over here, so what are you going to do? How are you going to provide for us? And of course, the person who had come from Princeton to the church and encouraged me to go to seminary, his wife's family lived in New Jersey. And so we called them, but we didn't, I don't know that we knew that at the time, but we called back home to Alaska and said, hey, we need help. And so he gave us his relative's phone number, his wife's family's phone number, and we contacted them, and we stayed with them for about 6 weeks. And they helped provide for us. And then about the time they had planned to go on their family vacation, the school said, okay, we have room for you now, so you can come. And so everything worked out. Everything worked out. Not because in some way we're better than other people, or somehow we have more faith than other people, or we're better than other people in any way at all, but because God says, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to take care of you. I know everything that you need. Don't worry about what you're going to wear. Don't worry about what you're going to eat. Don't worry about anything. Even what you're going to, what my plan is for you once you get there. But if you don't trust in me now, when will you? These times, sometimes we know the will of God. We know He wants us to go in a certain direction. We're just not sure how He's going to provide. And sometimes we don't do anything until we can see clearly. And God says, I've already taken care of it. Look at the example around you, the birds and the grass and the lilies. See how I take care of the earth and all that is there. And you are so much more important to me than those things that I automatically take care of. Don't you think I'm going to take care of you even better? Aren't you more important to me than those things that are here today and tomorrow, like the grass is thrown into the fire and is gone? And still, I provide. But you are more valuable than any of those things. And really, what can you do by worrying? In verse 27 it says, can you add a single hour to your life? Or in other translation it says, can you add like a cubit, a measure like about 18 inches or about half a meter, right? Can you add that much to your height by worrying? And God does it all the time. When we're born and He grows us up, He gives us our height, our stature. No problem, but I can't do it. I can't make myself taller. I can make myself fatter, but I can't make myself taller. I can't add to it. In fact, worrying is actually bad for our health. And God says, I'll take care of you and provide all that you need so that you stay healthy, so that you are taken care of. But if you worry, it actually takes away your life. It can shorten your life. It can hurt your body. It makes your hair gray. Doesn't it? It's not good for you. But God promises that if you trust Him and believe that He knows what you need, that He will take care of you, and discover you have that freedom not to worry, the freedom not to run after what you're going to eat or drink or what you're going to wear, you know, how you're going to earn your livelihood, that because God already knows you need these things, He will take care of you. So the question becomes, do you believe Him? We can read that in the Bible, and we said before, you can know it in your head. And elsewhere in the Bible we know it says, faith without works is dead. So here Jesus is saying, this is what God will do. Your part is, are you going to, the work part of it, I guess, is, are you going to step out and live this way? And He gives us all the reason before these verses, you know, leading up to verse 25. He gives us these things to look at, say in verses 19 through 24, you know, don't store up treasures for yourself on earth, do it in heaven. Don't let your, don't step out of the will of God. Don't look at the things of the world, because then you'll be full of darkness. You can't serve two masters, because either you'll love the one and hate the other. So He gives us these choices. He's reasoned these logical choices. And it leads up to, will you trust God? Will you trust Him to provide for you? And for me, the answer has to be yes, because He's proven to me that He can do it. If you're not willing for me to provide for you now, God says, when will you be? What will it take? To trust me rather than to get the things of the world first so that you can follow me. Because by then our focus is so much on the world, we don't really trust God to provide for us. So you know, in the end, well, we got to Princeton, and we got into the seminary, and the school has its own funding. We didn't know about that either, so they paid for the tuition, so we didn't have to. Then we just had to find some jobs, you know, to make a little bit of money